Hey there, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. And I have a question to ask you. What the fuck do you call 125 murders in 5 years? Work in progress. Great line, and a very underrated film. One of my favorite Dolph Lundgren films. My favorite Punisher film. Although I do like the Thomas Jane film. I do not like this Ray Stevenson film. I'm not going to go into it because it's not what this is about. Sorry, I don't like it. I feel it's too cartoonish, in my opinion. Did not see the Netflix show because I don't have Netflix. But this is my favorite Punisher film. The Punisher with Dolph Lundgren from 1989. This is a DVD that was sent to me a long time ago that I still have. Because it's a steelbook. Love the look of this thing. Beautiful. Especially this here. Love that. And even the inside. Great looking set. Which has the work print. And then Umbrella Entertainment did release it on Blu-ray, which has the unrated cut, the work print version, audio commentary with director Mark Goldblatt, Violence Down Under, interview with Mark Goldblatt, interview with Dolph Lundgren, which I wish the interview was longer. It was cool to hear at least a couple of thoughts from him, but wish it was a lot longer review. And they looked like they got Dolph right from when he got done working out, is like at a gym. I wish they could sit down like 15, 20 minutes. But it's too short. But still, I mean, if you're a fan of the film, it's still a release looking into. Now, this is a film that's been made fun of a lot, talked down a lot. People talk about, oh, Marvel, they didn't start getting good until maybe Blade. Well, they mentioned X-Men in 2000, but they forget about Blade, which is a great one, let alone Blade 2. And all those Marvel movies like Captain America, which I agree, that's a bad one, and The Punisher. And I'm like, wait, why do people hate this movie so much? For the budget it had, it was really fucking good. Dolph Lundgren, I think, does a wonderful job as Frank Castle, the Punisher. You have an epic body count. The Punisher doing what he does best, which is what I want to see in a Punisher movie. That's why, even if I had Netflix, I'm hesitant on watching that show. Just so I understand, it's like 80% talking and 20% action. I'm like, fuck that. I want to see the Punisher punish people, not try to punish them by talking their ear off. I want to see them in a hallway doing a knife, stabbing them through a fucking paper wall, throwing knives in the women's foreheads or breaking necks, shooting them with machine guns, shotguns, stabbing them with swords, just like he does in this movie. He kills a shitload of people, which is what I want. This is directed by Mark Goldblatt, who I think only directed 2 films. Dead Heat with Treat Williams, which I like, and this film. And sadly, this film, it was one of those things, it was supposed to be released in theaters, but then the company was going belly up and was selling its stock, and it pretty much went direct to video, which again sucks. So it didn't get a chance. And that pretty much killed his directing career, and he went back to editing. He edited for James Cameron. He edited Rainbow First Blood Part 2. At least he worked on editing that. Editing Terminator films. He edited Predator 2. Many movies. Many classic action films. Great editor. I thought he did a wonderful job directing. Like I said, Dolph Lundgren does a great job. He teams up with Gossett Jr., who they were cops on the force. They were partners. When Frank Castle's family gets killed and he's assumed dead, he kind of pulls away, lives in the sewers as the Punisher, while Louis Gossett Jr., still a cop, trying to find his friend to help him. Meanwhile, You have the crime families getting together because the Yakuza are coming in to take over. I like that. I like that they put the Yakuza part of it into there. Tell you one thing, it's done a lot fucking better here than it is in fucking The Wolverine. I'd rather watch this than The Wolverine. The music, I think the music is really good by Dennis Dreeth. Sorry, I can't pronounce his last name. But I think the score is very underrated. I actually do have the CD to that. Thankfully, that got a CD released. That's why I wish this would get a musical score released. Because this one did. People make fun of the narrations. I like the narrations. I like when it's like, come on, God, answer me. Why are the innocent dead and the guilty alive? Where is justice? Where is punishment? Or have you already answered? Have you already said to the world, here is justice, here is punishment, here in me? Be like, why is he naked? Well, he's supposed to be a crazy fucking. The Punisher is a crazy guy. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. He's a nut. I thought it was done well. I thought Dolph conveyed that this is a guy stripped of his emotions. You definitely see that more in the work print, and that's one thing that I wish they kept in. There's a, for those who don't know and never saw that, there was an opening sequence where it showed Dolph as Frank Castle with his family. Also, he's on a job with Louis Gossett Jr. It shows their back and forth, how Frank Castle was helping Louis Gossett Jr., how Dolph was helping him, because Louis Gossett's character was an alcoholic, and he's reforming, and Dolph was helping him, and he was sort of the rock that Louis Gossett could cling to. And it has a nicely done action and stunt sequences where they go after these drug dealers. They're making a deal. They crash in, firefights, and you have that action piece, but you also have, again, parts of the family life. And I don't know why they took that out. I guess because, oh, we want to get to the action. But I think it's not that overly long. It's well done. And it shows, like, here's Dolph acting normally like a family guy. And now that he's the Punisher, the emotion is sucked out. Which would make sense. That's part of the point. At least that's how I see the Punisher. And I thought it worked well. And then people are like, well, but he doesn't have the skull. Well, why is it that the X-Men films get the pass when the majority of them don't have the fucking costumes? Why do they get the pass? The first X-Men movie in 2000, everyone's in black, and they even make fun of what, you want to wear yellow spandex? But no one complained about that. I tell you one thing, I'd rather watch this than the fucking X-Men movies. I like this more than any of the X-Men films. I'm sorry, but I do. No, fuck that. I'm not sorry. Because I think this is a badass movie. Even with him getting his heavy machine gun and shooting the shit out of this casino. Blowing this up, blowing that up. Dealing with the Yakuza and ninjas. Shooting them. Grabbing a chain that someone's trying to hit him. Shooting them right in the face with a fucking shotgun. Going after vans. Stabbing people. Rolling, shooting people. You want to see some punishment? There's some motherfucking punishment in here. Goes at a fast pace. Louis Gossett Jr., great actor. He does a wonderful job in his sequences as a guy who cares and wants to find his friend, wants to try to help him out. You also have, what was her name? What was her name? I had a tip of my tongue. She was in Deep Star 6. Nancy Everhard? I want to say it's that. Because she was also the same year in, like I said, Deep Star 6. I have to look it up. She was in the opening sequence. If you remember the VHS, on the back of the VHS tape, there was a picture that I was always confused about when I was a kid, because I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't in the movie. What is this? It's like them in street clothes and this hooker. Well, that's from the deleted opening sequence. And that hooker was an undercover cop who is, yeah, Nancy Everhard, which this time later becomes Louis Gossett Jr.'s new partner as they investigate the Punisher. And also the movie was risky. The movie had balls because the Yakuza, they didn't give a fuck. They were ready to poison people, shoot people in the mouth, and kidnap kids. Put kids in danger. To the point where they'll go in and there's a nanny shot to shit, big blood squibs in front of 2 little kids. Like, the movie doesn't fuck around. And again, here's a woman, doesn't matter it's a woman, still trying to kill the Punisher with these earrings that cut him. So they fuck this and breaks her neck like a wishbone. Nowadays people are like, oh, that's too harsh. It's the Punisher. There's no too harsh. Dude, I don't give a fuck if he doesn't have a fucking skull on his shirt. Would it have been cool to see? Sure. But to condemn a movie only for that is ridiculous, in my opinion. You know what? The Turtles in the Michael Bay movies look like dog shit. But if they actually were good characters, if you actually had worth of shit action sequences, it didn't have Megan fucking Fox and 50 other things wrong with those movies, then maybe I could deal with it. But here, goes at a fast pace. I thought the villains worked well. I liked Jeroen Krabbé. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce his name. He plays Franco, who's part of the crime families trying to get together to deal with this Yakuza. And then ultimately has to go to the Punisher for help because his son's been kidnapped. And I like the touches the director does. I like the opening credits where you have this sort of spiral going to the screen. And before that, it's like these pop-ups of villains and they shatter into glass as the Tower of the Punisher opens up. I thought that was an interesting way to do the opening credits. Inventive. Memorable. I still remember that ever since I saw it on VHS when I was a kid. I actually remember, I think it was Jacob's Ladder. No, maybe not. I do remember, I think, was it this movie that I saw the trailer to Jacob's Ladder on? It might have been, because it might have been the trailer to Jacob's Ladder. Because I remember watching I remember having the advertising for the video game for Nintendo, The Punisher, which I enjoyed. I played that NES game a lot. This might have had the trailer to Jacob's Ladder. I can't remember now. But I just pictured the VHS tape. This is one of those films I watched a lot when I was a kid. And I even liked his friend, the Bum, which I didn't think he was annoying. I didn't think he was irritating. I thought he did a little bit of stuff with rhyming. He's a character named Shake, played by Barry Otto, but he never got on my nerves. He was a guy who would help him, inform him on stuff. I thought he worked well for what he was supposed to do in the film. And again, the action sequences are well done. The zip line, shooting the shit out of people, shotgun fun. Later on in this sort of amusement park, where he's shooting people, This is the first time, actually, now that I think about it, we got to see Dolph's ability as a martial artist. Because Rocky 4, he's a boxer. You're not going to see that. You're not going to see that as He-Man. He didn't get to do too much of that as Red Scorpion. It was more upper body strength and weapons, guns. But here, he got to do some martial arts stuff. Especially when he gets in the fights with the two guys in the finale when he's trying to get to Lady Tanaka, trying to rescue the boy, teaming with the boy's dad, Franco. And it was nice to see, like, oh wow, this guy's a martial artist too. He performed it very well. And again, just the scenes of mayhem, which is what I want in a Punisher movie. Like the two of them coming out of an elevator door. Here's like 40 people with swords. Shoots a guy, stabs a guy with a sword. That's the Punisher, man. Let him punish some motherfuckers. Crashing through windows, throwing knives in Lady Tanaka's forehead. Deanna struggle with Franco when the kid's trying to kill him. It's like, go ahead. Do it. Do it. Kid doesn't do it, you're a good boy, Tommy. Grow up to be a good man. Because if you don't, I'll be waiting. Which is something I could see the Punisher saying. And I always thought it was sad at the end where Louis Gossett Jr. trying to look for his friend. It's like, Frank! Frank! And the Punisher's going to continue his job. I felt bad because, Louis Gossett Jr. is looking for his friend and pretty much maybe he's realized it's a whole lost cause. And I thought the scene that Dolph-A-Thon and Louis Gossett Jr. had was a good acting sequence. Where Louis Gossett Jr. is trying to talk to him about the body count, you've been arrested. And Frank is like, no, if you're guilty, you're dead. That's where you get that line. What the fuck do you call 125 murders in 5 years? Work in progress. And Louis Gossett Jr. is trying to get to him. God damn it, this is no fucking joke. They're going to electrocute you. You hear me? You gotta talk to me. Let me in. Let me in. They were my family too. You know what? Fuck you. Go ahead and die. The Frank I knew died 5 years ago. Fuck you. I thought, people want to talk about, oh, there's no acting. I think that was a damn good side of acting from both of them. Like, people, I don't know what people expect the Punisher to be. I don't want soliloquies and constant fucking talking and paragraph after paragraph after paragraph. Dolph did a great job. He had the presence, he had the physicality. He's supposed to be that lost, vacant look in his eyes. That this guy's not quite right. And that's what the Punisher is. Lady Tanaka, I thought the actress did a good job. Villain you just fucking hated and wanted to get the comeuppance. Again, the villains, they're ready to hit kids, slap kids, kill people in front of kids. They're not messing around. Certain pieces of dialogue I enjoy. Like I said, it goes by a fast pace. The low budget is used very well. They didn't have a $30 million budget. They didn't have the budget of a Terminator 2 or an X-Men or whatever. I never understood the big hate for this film. Because of the skull? Really? It's low budget. I think the budget was used very well. You don't like Dolph. Well, I disagree. They like the plot. What's wrong with the plot? Going after these motherfuckers and Yakuza and not just the Yakuza, but then the other crime boss guys. The opening scene in the theatrical cut, not the work print, where he's killing people with knives and hanging them with nooses, and I thought the way it ended was right. I still talk to God sometimes. I ask him what I'm doing is right or wrong. I'm still waiting for an answer. Until I get one, I'll be out there, waiting, watching. The guilty will be punished. Again, I don't repeat myself, but I do really enjoy the music. Thought it fits the film very well. And yeah, this is easily my favorite Punisher film. What you want, it's violent, it's R-rated, it's hardcore, action fight scenes. There's a sequence where he's saving these kids. He's on a bus and he's ramming cars and fucking up people left and right. Mark Goldblatt did a great job directing it. I wish he had a chance to direct more movies. But he got the bum rush on this, sad to say. And to this day, it still gets a bad reputation, and I do not understand it. I do not understand why it has a bad reputation. Very underrated movie. In fact, I'm going to put that on the title. Very underrated. I like The Punisher with Thomas Jane. I do, though, with more action scenes and less scenes of fucking around with a fire hydrant. But I like The Punisher with Thomas Jane. I don't like the Ray Stevenson one. I think it's too cartoonish. I think it's too silly. I don't like Ray Stevenson. I don't care for him as an actor. I'm sorry, he did nothing for me. Jigsaw with the fucking American flag in the back was a bit cartoony for me. I didn't care. I did not like Ray Stevenson in it. And I didn't watch the TV show, so the Netflix, because I don't have Netflix. I already said that. But yeah, The Punisher, damn good flick, highly underrated, and the job it's doing, it does really well. The actors do their jobs well, the music, the directing, the action sequences, there's a plentiful amount, it's R-rated, it's hardcore, doesn't pull punches, there's fisticuffs, but a lot of firefights, there's massacres. Again, just when they massacre like those 30, 40 fucking people with swords, like, man, they didn't have a fucking chance. Which is what the Punisher does. I would bet money there's more action in this movie than the entire TV show of John Bernthal's The Punisher. I would bet money on it. And they have like, what, 13 episodes? And this has an hour and 30-some minutes. I would not be surprised. Maybe I'm wrong. I would not be surprised. But that's just my opinion. Either way, thanks for watching. Take care. See you guys later. Bye-bye. Oh yeah, another thing that I enjoy, another piece of dialogue, is when the Franco character asks him, hey, there's a limit to vengeance. And the Punisher goes, guess I haven't reached mine yet. It's a little line they say in an elevator, but I thought that was a nice response from the Punisher. It sounded like something the Punisher would say. So I like that little piece of dialogue too. But for real now, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.